Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're back again. Hi guys. Another episode. Another lovely episode of the show that we like to call I'm Just Playin. I am the Cardinal, the Oracle. Alongside my usual partner in crime, the High Priest of the Sistine Chapel. Hello, Sid.
Hi.
Hey.
You look terrible today.
I was hoping you weren't going to tell everybody about that. All right, so full disclosure, I got back from rugby trials today because I have never played rugby competitively, and I decided, you know what, since it's all brand new changes and things, going back to uni, you have to join a sports team. Me, I do anyway, and I decided, I'm not going to do the typical thing that I usually do, and I'll either play basketball or football. No, I'm going to do something different. So I decided on rugby. I'm sticking with it. So
I have a short and interesting story about being on the rugby team. So I went to a posh boy private school, and being the only brown guy there, or person of any color there, and plus I was a big kid. So first day of rugby training. It's raining. It's the middle of October. It's pissing it down, cold as shit. We're doing tackling practice. This is year 7, by the way.
Yeah.
First tackle. I had the ball. I'm running, trying to avoid the guy. So the way that I avoided it was I kind of sidestepped and jumped up and around. This guy somehow manages to grab me by the neck, choke slams me, and breaks my neck.
Oh, well, that got dark in a hurry.
I know. So that was fucked.
That was.
And then
I
obviously
was not expecting that.
As white privilege goes, like he didn't get in any trouble. He said, "Oh, he jumped." I'm like, "Mate, are you fucking man?" I was what, like 5'11", 6 foot at the time. I jumped. I'm at least a foot in the air. You reached up 7 feet with the hand of God himself and brought me back fucking down.
Broke your neck, dude. I don't even.
Oh, mate.
I don't understand.
Mate, that was a horrible year. In fact, high school in general was a horrible year.
I don't.
So.
That's just.
Yeah. So yeah, just to let you know the dangers of playing rugby.
Thanks for that. I think I've made a great decision. All right. Well, so there we are. Got a bit of sport out of the way, so you can't say that we don't give you all of the topics on this show. Anyway, do you know what? It's actually been a fairly decent week. No fluff. No real bad news to start with. I mean, well, we do have one, but we already agreed we're not going down that path ever again.
Not going to be mentioned.
It happened. It's a thing. And anything else that happens after it, we just decided that it's just not worth getting into.
And I'm a fan of the idea that today, this episode 6, should be chilled, relaxed. We're thinking, imagine having Marvin Gaye playing in the background, just relaxed, smooth, silky.
Okay. All right. I guess I wasn't prepared for that. Going down that route, but yeah, no, that's fine. We can deal with that. So, yeah. Why don't we just get straight into it? I mean, pleasantries aside, we do have a job to do, so we might as well just go ahead and get it done. Sid,
yeah,
what have you been playing this week?
You know what's funny? I have not played much.
Great.
What I have played though is the usual, which is a little bit of Space Engineers.
Sure.
Obviously. I still can't do the one thing that I really want to do in the game, which is I want to build a car which attaches to a carrier, which then launches from atmosphere into orbit to a space station. That's all I want to do. And thing is, I'm usually a very patient guy. But things like this, when it takes too long, I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm done. So yeah, that, and Don't Starve Together, which, by the way, right, I think is actually one of my top 10 favorite games ever now.
Wow. That's high praise.
It is
I agree.
a fantastic game, and you cannot fault it on any level. I mean, it's well designed, it looks amazing, sounds amazing. The developers are constantly updating it. It's had the best early access kind of model ever. I mean, and on top of that, right, whenever you buy a copy of Don't Starve Together, they give you another copy for free to give to someone else.
Really?
Yeah, every time. No, there's no like, oh, buy the 4-pack bundle, which is exactly the same price as buying 4 copies of it, but you get to do it simply easier. It's you bought a copy? Cool, this is a multiplayer game. Have another copy, give it to a friend.
That's really cool.
That is amazing.
That's really cool.
So yeah. And then I played about 10 minutes of Enter the Gungeon, which I've never played a roguelike before. And apart from FTL. But roguelikes in general scare me a bit. I mean, I like watching people play their playthroughs.
Yeah, sure.
But I thought, fuck it, I'll just give it a try. I had it installed. I wasn't doing anything. I was waiting for some updates to happen. I thought, whatever, I'll just play it. So I played the tutorial for Enter the Gungeon, and I was pleasantly surprised. Controls are a bit weird, though. I was playing on the controller because I wanted to chill back. It was a long day. And yeah, shooting with the RB button on your controller, really weird. I'm not a fan of that. I'm kind of a bit too used to the right trigger. So yeah. Oh, and a couple of sessions of Star Wars Battlefront, which adamantly to this day I will say is hella fun. I don't care what anyone says about their pricing model and how little content there is, blah blah blah. It is so much fun.
Well, that's what we're playing after we finish this. I've decided.
Okay.
Because I agree. I got it at a cut price actually. So what was it? I think we wrapped up like last week. Yeah, we wrapped up last week, and I decided that I needed to just go ahead and open up Origin so that I can update my stuff, right? And then I saw at the top of the screen that they said that today's your last day to use Origin 50. I was like, what's Origin 50? 50% off of anything apart from pre-orders. I was like, okay. So I guess we're spending some money. I got Mirror's Edge Catalyst, which I will get to in a minute.
Okay.
I got Star Wars Battlefront Ultimate Edition. Usually, I think the price is like 80, 90. I got it for 30.
Nice.
And I think because you're an Origin insider, you get an extra 10% off on top of that. So there were savings to be made. I can dig it. I also got Burnout Paradise, the Ultimate.
Most amazing racing game ever.
It had to be done. And the fact that it was only like £2 made it that much more needed to be done. So, yes, I agree with you on Star Wars Battlefront. Yes, there are people who complained about the depth. Yes, there are people who complained about the season pass and how it got broken up. Which to me, if you're... we should be used to this by now. It happened with StarCraft 2. They purposely split up each of the installments into the story modes about each race. Protoss, Terran, Zerg. And that annoyed me so much that it put me off getting the game. So I can completely understand where people are coming from, where Battlefront is concerned. Because if you played Star Wars Battlefront 2 back in the day, it was one of the deepest multiplayer titles that you could ever come across. Most games these days in terms of multiplayer don't have that kind of depth. But I still think it captures this latest one. I think it captures the essence of what made Battlefront in the first place. And apart from anything else, the game is just pretty as fuck. Like, we just get into how
it doesn't just capture Battlefront. It captures Star Wars.
Exactly. That's the main thing. Like, we're not getting away from the fact that there are two of my favorite things about Battlefront. One, first and foremost, my absolute ultimate favorite thing about this latest installment are the aerial dogfights. They nailed them. They are absolutely smashing. I never, ever get tired of aerial dogfights. I actually get annoyed when the game actually moves to the next round and you have to go inside. Because I still want to fly around in an A-wing. And I love A-wings. I still want to, duke it out in TIE interceptors and shit. Like, that's amazing. I love the aerial dogfights. They nailed it so hard. I'm so, so happy that they did, because it needed to be captured. Like, remember Rogue Squadron from back in the day on the N64?
Oh, wow, that was a long time ago.
Remember that? Remember those flying missions? Remember how good that was? That's what this feels like. Not better,
I'm not
but very similar.
Big fan of the dogfighting, but I'm more of an infantry guy than anything else.
Okay.
I prefer on the ground firing, shooting, killing things, because I'm terrible. I would be a terrible pilot, quite frankly. I mean, if you ever see me play GTA, you'll know I am shit in the air. However, my driving skills, levels, mate, levels. So yeah, okay.
Thanks for that.
So what else have you played?
Yes, as I mentioned it, Mirror's Edge Catalyst. I'm a fan. Now, my mate David, who is quite keen to get on one of our episodes, so that apparently he can learn us a couple of things.
Oh, okay.
Whatever that means. By the way, my housemates are quite keen on interrupting as well.
Well, we're going to progress to guests.
I guess it's going to happen that way. I mean, I've got a couple in mind, but we'll see. But anyway, yes, Mirror's Edge Catalyst. So he said to me that it is great, but he still was left feeling like he wanted more. Now, I'm not nearly there yet to be able to pass judgment on that. What I can say about Mirror's Edge Catalyst is that it's an absolutely worthy successor as a title. That's number one. Number two, I love the open world feel of it. I would have liked for Glass to be a little bit bigger. That's the name of the city in the game. Apparently, it was called Glass the entire time. Nobody said anything about that in the first one.
I don't think it really mattered in the first one, to be honest.
Didn't really matter because it was on rails. But the whole point of Catalyst, though, is that it's smashing. I think I do need to read the comic to see how Faith got into the mess that she's gotten into now, because they talk about it quite heavily from the off. So it's recommended that you read the little comic thing that there's in there. It's not in the game, evidently, so I need to go and look for it. So parkour is really fluid, like even more fluid than the first one. Now it's all still in first person, which is great, but I do love the addition of skill trees in this. I think it's absolutely they've added some depth to it. It's still a bit shallow, but it's more than what was there the last time around, if that makes any sense at all.
Okay.
I do like the way the narrative is going. I do like the voice acting. I think is pretty good. I do like the cinematics. I love, absolutely love the combat system this time around. The combat system was a little bit dour in the first one, to the point where you couldn't mix it up. You can now in Catalyst, and I think they really paid attention to all the constructive feedback that they got regarding it. Catalyst is great. I'm having a blast with it, and as I say, same thing again with Battlefront, which is the second thing about Battlefront that I love. The weapons. Now, you talked about the infantry bit. The infantry bit is great, but they really paid attention to what kind of weapons you can pick up. Now, that is something that was not in Star Wars Battlefront 2, if I remember rightly. You chose based off of your character, didn't you?
It was a class-based kind of thing.
It was class-based, but the weapons were kind of fixed, weren't they, if I remember?
I cannot remember for the life of me, but I think so. I think it was like you play a class, you had a weapon.
You had a weapon. This time, you've got like tons of different weapons.
Oh, man.
And they are so true to the Star Wars universe. They did their homework, and I appreciate that as a Star Wars geek. I love that.
I'm not so much a massive Star Wars geek, but I had the encyclopedias. So I recognized the weapons, and that's what was gratifying about it.
Yes.
Also, that game looks so good. Honestly, right?
Honestly, one of the best looking titles to come out in the last few years.
Arguably, it's probably the best looking game.
Do you reckon?
I mean, only recent, like the latest possible games or games that have not yet released but are coming out at the end of this year could topple it. I.e., like perhaps Rise of the Tomb Raider, because that's very, very good looking.
Unravel, I think, this year is probably the best looking title. And one of the best games to come out this year too, definitely, without a shadow of a doubt. It's top 3 best games I've played this year.
I mean, yeah. I mean, and The Division is very good looking as well.
Yes, The Division is gorgeous. Gorgeous.
But, yeah.
As far as post-apocalyptic settings go, definitely.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, with the 2 examples that we put together, Unravel and The Division and Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Yep.
Okay, maybe not so much Rise of the Tomb Raider, but just visual diversity. So, I mean, Star Wars Battlefront, you have all of these locations. You've got desert, you've got sky, you've got jungle, you've got dense forest, you've got snow. Every single one of those look amazing.
So good.
Like the weapons look amazing. Okay, maybe the human faces. I mean, but we're still at the stage where Uncanny Valley, all right? That is to be accepted. And to be fair, if something did look hyper real to the point where it was, where you could get past the Uncanny Valley, I don't think it would be more uncomfortable than anything else. I mean, this is from an artistic perspective, and someone who like visual effects and animation have been a big part of my life, and I think it's a good thing that we haven't crossed the Uncanny Valley yet.
Yeah, no, I think what makes and the most important aspect of Battlefront is that for all of the complaints about it, which, as I mentioned earlier, there are a couple of them I'm just like, yeah, I can see where you're coming from with that. But one thing that cannot be disputed is how fun the game is.
Oh, mate. Like, so I have a lot of anxiety when I play games, right? Like, I stare at my Steam library, and I'm like, oh, shit. I've just spent this much money.
Yeah.
That's my anxiety. My anxiety is, fuck, I feel compelled, committed. I feel bad for not playing, but, I feel also guilty for spending this much. If I spend any time, I feel guilty for spending that time on something that I want to enjoy. So this is a personal problem, but like Star Wars Battlefront, I was like, okay, cool. Rounds last 10 minutes? I can quickly get it over with. I don't feel guilty for playing it, but
sure,
it is fun all the way around, and that's the same with Titanfall as well. Like, I think one thing that EA does great is that when you play the game, it is a great experience. When you're playing BF4, it is a great experience. When you're playing Battlefront, it's a great experience. When you're playing Mirror's Edge, when you're playing any EA game, it is fun. Like, you go around a mate's house and you're on the PS4 and they're like, cool, let's play some FIFA. Mate, you can't fault that. It is a great experience for the 5 minutes that you're playing one match.
It's not. There is one thing. I only really have one criticism for the game, to be fairly honest with you, that I haven't already criticised it for, because I had a pre-order for it before it came out, but then when they dropped the season pass on us, and then how they were going to break up all the good shit into DLC, I was like, well, EA is going to EA, and I'm going to cancel my pre-order because I'm not dealing with this. But patience is a virtue, because I got everything much cheaper than the last time around. And somebody mentioned this. So shout out to that person on Twitter, which at the moment I cannot remember your name. I think it's Lamentably Awake. So they said, did you find that the barrier to enjoying it is easily overcome if you don't spend as much money as you would have? So basically, if you got it for a bargain, are you more susceptible to enjoying the game? I find 9 times out of 10 that yes, that is the case, because I don't think I would have enjoyed Fallout 4 if I hadn't won a copy of it, and I don't think that I would have enjoyed let's go with Wolfenstein The Old Blood as much as everybody else if I paid full price for it, to be honest. Star Wars Battlefront, would I still have been so annoyed with it that I would have stopped playing it if I had spent £100 on the Ultimate Edition? My initial answer is no. Because I think I can see why people feel like, well, last time we played this on the original Xbox or the PS2 or whatever, all of this was already in the game. Now we have to pay for it in installments. So I can definitely see where they're coming from with this. But even then, the game is still fun.
Oh, yeah.
The game is still fun.
I mean, back to that point, the barrier of entry of fun.
Price of admission.
Basically. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm in the opposite camp. I think. Because, I mean, I've never actually thought about it before up until this very moment. But I paid full price for Battlefront. And because I paid full price, I haven't even played that much of it, I'm not going to lie. I played about 10 hours maybe in total in the last year.
But it's one of those titles that you don't have to plow 20, 30, 40 hours into.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, in terms of like hours to the pound ratio, that's shit. But I enjoyed every minute of it. And I paid full price for The Division.
So did
I bought it on launch. And that's probably some of the most fun I've had all year.
Amazing game. I got the gold edition. I think they took like maybe 15-20% off of it, but I got it and it was
I got the season pass with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I know for a fact that the games that I bought on launch at full price, I have enjoyed greatly. Whereas the 500 other games that I've bought on Steam in bundles and all that shit, I haven't played, and not as much as I thought I would. Or actually, better example, Civilization 5, right?
Okay.
I bought that game when I was broke as shit, but I paid full price for it at the time, which was 30 quid, 35. And that's the game I have the most hours in. And I paid what was equivalent of full price at the time. Which was, 4 years ago, I think? Yeah, best, you know. So I'm probably the kind of person that maybe if I didn't buy all these games that I have and not play them, I probably would have enjoyed them more if I paid full price.
Right.
When
I think that's fair.
I
think that's fair. I mean, at the end of the day, right? You basically, results are always going to vary. There are going to be some like common themes and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, the results are always going to vary, and I think what it comes right down to is that you're going to fall into one of those camps. If the game frustrates you to no end, I get it, because as I say, one thing that frustrates me, probably the only thing that frustrates me about it, is how the matchmaking is very slow.
That's because player counts, but
yeah, but still, when you're in the game, things start to move at a usual pace, but it does take a while for you to get matched up properly. Also, I have not actually had to confirm joining something in a match that starts, which is kind of a nice feature, but at the same time, I'd rather you just do it for me. Right. So I have to get back into the habit of that. I don't know. I think Battlefront it deserves praise.
it's highly underrated.
It's highly underrated. It's a lot more fun than Call of Duty. Yes, I said it.
I'll give you that.
I said it. It's more fun. It is. And I don't find myself wanting to smash my head into the monitor just because I've been playing a first-person shooter game. I love the locations that they've chosen. They're all fucking gorgeous. And it's Star Wars, so you can't lose with Star Wars. So, yeah. Agree with you wholeheartedly. Definitely satisfied with that purchase. It's nice to wrap up the whole what I've been playing, apart from Football Manager, obviously. I have also, as I said, I got Burnout Paradise. I got back into that. I tell you what, it's just nice to play those games that you played on a console on a PC.
Oh, mate.
This is one of my favorite things about this platform, is that the console version was stellar. There's no taking away from the experience that I had playing Burnout Paradise on Xbox 360. But let me tell you just how glorious it plays on PC.
Oh, mate, wait till you play at 144 hertz. Oh, it is. Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I need the monitor for that, though. It's still stuck on 60, I think. Anyway, that'll wrap up that section. I mean, we could be here all day, but yes, EA, you done good. Most of the time, you drive me batshit crazy, but you done good. The game is good. I can't take anything away from Battlefront, and I can't take anything away from Mirror's Edge Catalyst. And I got a Mirror's Edge Catalyst for like £11, and I swear the game just came out this summer.
Came out earlier this year, I think.
I swear it came out this summer. I want to say June. Was it June?
No, it came out in May.
Really?
Yeah.
Either way, yeah, great games, great bargains. It's been a good week.
It's been a very good week.
All right, so we're going to keep it moving now. To the news, also known as good times and bad. Though we don't really have news. But I guess we don't really have that many bad things to talk about this week. It's actually
well, I mean, the bad things that have happened.
Oh,
we're not
going anywhere. We're not going anywhere near that. Nope, not today.
But
yeah,
okay. I got something.
Go on.
Actually, I've got two things, but I'll start with the first one.
Oh.
Have you seen the Battlefield 1 story trailer?
No.
Oh, dude, trust me, right? Unlike, so the Infinite Warfare story trailer,
Is
right?
it really worth my time, though? Is it?
It is 100% worth your time.
Is it, Sid?
You know what? Watch it right now. Watch it right now. I will gladly sit here and wait for 2.5 minutes for you to watch it.
What, now?
Yes, right
while
now.
we're live?
Yes. I'm going to watch it too.
Oh my god, we're doing this together. Okay.
Yes.
So, I guess this is I'm just playing first. We're going to take in this should probably be a future segment.
It should be. You're looking for the story trailer.
Yeah.
The single player trailer.
Right now I'm being bombarded with ads featuring Cara Delevingne. Is that how you pronounce her name?
Cara Delevingne. I was told this by Ricky. That's how you have to pronounce it.
Cara Delevingne? So pretentious.
You should see the rest of it, family.
Yikes. Alright,
Battlefield 1 official single player trailer.
where is it? Battlefield 1 official single player trailer?
Yeah. 2 minutes, exactly.
Who posted it?
Battlefield.
Oh.
Do you want me to give you the link?
No, I got it. I have to sign in to confirm my age. Some bullshit. I changed my... Yep, that's my long last password. I'm using YouTube as... Not as I'm just playing. Alright. Alright, it's started. So were these all created in Game Engine, or is this all cinematic?
Yeah, this is all rendered in Game Engine.
Right.
Well, as in, it's the cinematics, but using the Game Engine to render it.
Okay, I'm seeing some of the game footage now.
Oh, I got goosebumps.
Okay. So that was
Mate, that trailer is better than the entire Call of Duty franchise put together.
Well, I would agree there. That definitely is a rather inspiring trailer. I love that music. I would watch the trailer again for the music.
Exactly. Do you see what I mean? Here's the thing, right?
I can see it on that.
As someone who edits trailers,
Yes.
I know exactly what they're doing with it. How they're using the Oscar bait music, the whole high pitched strings and the big trumpets just to give you the sense of epic. That the shit that you put Russell Crowe in a film to make you feel all warm and tingly inside. The Oscar drama that no one actually watches, but they do the whole where it's in the trailer where it says Academy Award nominee. This fact.
That's exactly what I was expecting at some point. Academy Award nominee, Academy Award winner.
So I can see, but when they drop the the Battlefield,
yeah,
I get goosebumps every time I hear that in that trailer. I was just like, they finally worked it in. Because in the first few trailers, they didn't drop it in.
Now, the montages, the pacing and all that sort of stuff, I'm a little confused as to where the whole story mode is actually going to go. Because 1 minute, my man's in London. The next minute, my man's in the desert. And then the next minute, he's on the battlefield. The next minute, he's back in London. And then the next minute... Wait, and I don't even know who it's actually following. Is it following the American bloke, or is it following one of the British boys?
Okay, so...
Or is it following both of them?
I think it's following both of them. So the British guy sounds like he's being played by Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe?
You know the guy that was like, promise me you'll never leave me behind, that guy?
Yeah, promise me that you'll get me back in one piece as well.
That's the one. That's the line. That sounded like Daniel Radcliffe. I don't know if he's actually in it or not. If he is, that'd be quite cool.
That's really... I'm looking this up right now. Hold on just a minute.
Okay. But as you're looking that up, yeah, so I think it's going to be... I think you may possibly be playing 2 or 3 different people, because by the looks of things, you're playing Lawrence of Arabia.
Yeah, that's... yeah. No, that's definitely what you're doing.
Well, yeah, you're actually playing Lawrence of Arabia. I think that's one of the DLCs as well.
Wow.
And obviously you play in France, Germany as either of the two, possibly. I'm not sure. Mm-hmm. Most likely the American guy, because you got to appeal. But yeah, but the shot at the end where
where he's staring down.
The 2 guys staring down. There's the black guy and the other guy, the German.
Yeah.
That's Hitler, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a Hitler. Wait, that is the crossword. Yeah. Because there's a famous kind of story about Hitler was wounded in a fight.
Yeah.
And he was there was just this one soldier basically about to kill him, but he let him go because he was wounded and basically unarmed at the point. Well, not unarmed, but unable to fight back, and he let him live. But that's the cross point. That I was like, holy shit, that's him, mate. If they pull this off,
I don't know why.
If they pull this off,
I don't know why I'm so. I know I'm going to end up getting it, but I don't know why I'm so skeptical about this game. Why am I so skeptical about this game?
You're skeptical because Battlefield Hardline was shit, and Battlefield 4 storyline was shit, and Battlefield 3 story was shit. Single player campaigns, that is. But from what we've seen, the fact that they could have gone Battlefield 2142, well, technically Battlefield 4133. They could have gone that route, but they didn't. They went and they literally named it Battlefield 1. That was a bossy move. Sure. They've literally listened to the feedback of the people and said, okay, you know what, everyone, they saw the market. They saw, okay, everyone's doing modern or near future or actual future, and said, okay, fuck it, we'll differentiate, we'll go back. That way we have some separation in the market. We have this space. We have arguably the best engine, the Frostbite engine.
Yeah.
Because, mate, that game looks amazing.
Well,
Battlefront looks amazing.
Everything's using Frostbite now. Even FIFA's using Frostbite, which
looks amazing.
Which it might benefit from, to be fair. But I've already played. Oh, that's the other thing. Shout out to my boy Ross, aka Midas. We played Pro Evo 2017, and my God, what a fucking football game! Jesus, I love it. Anyway, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So we've got So it's got an amazing engine. It looks amazing. It's fully optimized. I mean, Battlefront didn't have any problems. I mean, I imagine someone somewhere did, but it's very well optimized. It's the best looking engine so far. They've got a stellar team working on it, and they look like they've actually maybe put some, thought into the writing. Because let's face it, 99% of games have really shit writing.
They do.
That's just a fault of the medium, which is ever growing. That's because no writer knows how to actually write for games yet. But
shouldn't be hard though. I don't know why it's hard.
Well, I mean, because game stories, writing for a game story is, you got to make a script like this thick. I'm making a sign of my hand with my thumb and my middle finger very wide apart for anyone that can't see, which is all of you. But yeah, so, but again, without diverting, Battlefield 1 looks very promising. Very promising.
The game's multiplayer is planned to support up to 64 players.
Now, that's with every Battlefield on PC.
Well, of course. The new squad system allows a group of players to enter and leave game servers together. According to Berlin, playing without joining a squad would make gameplay significantly more difficult. Multiplayer maps are to be based on locations around the world, including Arabia, the Western Front, and the Alps. The game will launch with 9 maps and 6 modes, which include Conquest, Domination, Operations, Rush, Team Deathmatch, and War Pigeons, in which players must secure war pigeons and use them to call for an artillery strike. So basically everything that you come to expect from Battlefield, plus 1 new mode, which involves using pigeons.
Mate,
fair.
Do it. When it comes out, we'll judge. But from everything we've seen so far, it looks very promising. I'm excited. I'm not hyped. I'm excited. Pleasantly so.
Okay. Nominated for 5 things at the Games Critic Awards of 2016, won Best Action Game, lost everything else. So, I don't know. I'm still skeptical, but I am going to get the game. And I don't think I will be satisfied until I've played a good few hours of it. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. I mean, horses, zeppelins, biplanes.
Why? You're just saying the buzzwords that are just going to make everyone excited. Who doesn't want to ride and shoot horses? Who doesn't want to take down a zeppelin and have it land in the middle of the battlefield itself?
I don't know. I feel quite bad if I shot a horse. I don't want to shoot a horse. I certainly don't want to run a bayonet into a horse. I don't know.
Get good.
No, stop that. Anyway, moving on. You're terrible. Moving
what
on.
Have you got?
I guess I've got some light news. I'm trying to remember what it was when I saw it. So while I'm looking for it, can I say that I absolutely must have Sonic Mania, and it must be the collector's edition? The only problem is that according to some of my sources, it only looks like you can order the collector's edition from Europe from Amazon.com. There's not carrying a European version of it. Now, it's the same game, and the code that you'll be able to use is redeemable anywhere, so that's fine. But I wonder what the thinking behind that is, because from what I understand, more people in Europe play Sonic games than people in the States do. So,
really?
Yeah.
I mean, Sonic's kind of big, especially with the Christian community.
Christian?
Yeah, there was. I think. I mean, if I am wrong, by all means, someone tell me. But I think at some point they appropriated Sonic as a kind of like an icon to spread Christianity. As in, we're talking like the Christian belt here. Like we're talking like Utah.
So Mormons?
Yeah, like they kind of appropriated Sonic into like this "don't masturbate, kids" kind of thing. Hence why there's so many kind of like Sonic memes.
This is all brand new to me, and I'm not happy about this.
And you know like how there's this really strange like Sonic fan fiction out there. Like you go on DeviantArt,
well, there is
Tumblr,
okay. So slash fic is just a thing that we're just gonna have to deal with. I mean, it's already happened. That battle's over. We lost. I think, yeah. But I know where you're going with this.
But there's that dark side of the internet, which is very kind of Sonic orientated in a very fetishistic way. I'm just quoting what I see here. Like whatever you do, don't Google Sonic Rule 34. Don't do it. Don't. You're doing it.
Why have I heard about this? No, I'm not doing it.
Don't.
I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to ruin my entire life.
But yeah, basically, like, yeah, it's a very strange community, and you know, if that's your thing, go for it. Whatever. I'm more than happy that you're happy, but it's very strange. It's yeah. So yeah, okay. That's why it's kind of big in America.
Yikes! All right. Well, I mean, it's not as big as it once was, so to speak. I think somebody, a friend of mine, who's very, very deep in the Sega, not just the community but the company itself, said something about latest metrics are coming back at like less than 25% of people in North America playing Sonic games these days, compared to 80% around here in Europe. So the paradigm has definitely shifted. There's definitely a fandom out here. I can say that for certain. I went to Summer of Sonic in August. They brought it back for one more year, one more run, and it was awesome.
Yay, run.
Shout out to them. My news this week is basically something that I realized was quite interesting. So there's apparently, or evidently, based off the proof here, evidently there's going to be one blockbuster game releasing every week from now until the end of 2016. So I said, immediately when I saw this, I said, bullshit.
When you say blockbuster game, what do you mean?
This is exactly why I said bullshit, because I was just like, are we talking about the cinematic AAA titles that you could definitely mistake as a movie if you don't do a double take and see somebody holding the controller or using a keyboard and mouse? Is that what you're going down? Basically, yes. So they said that there's going to be at least one big AAA title launch every week. We're not counting ports of games already available on other platforms and anticipated indie titles, not to mention surprises. Right?
Yeah.
So
I kind of want to hear the list.
Yeah, I'm going to go through it and I'm going to see. Let me get through it and then we'll go over it. Because this kind of combines another segment that we do, which is the rapid fire section. So, I thought this would be me killing two birds with one stone. Starting next week.
Okay.
No, this week. Excuse me. Wow. Because today is Today is the 28th. Yes.
Yes.
All right. So this week, this is what's come out. Forza Horizon 3 on the 27th. FIFA 17.
Yeah.
XCOM 2 for PS4 and Xbox One.
Okay, yeah, I can accept that.
Although that kind of goes back on to say that that's not even counting ports of games already available on other platforms. It's available on PC, has been for a while, so I would exclude that one.
In all fairness, though, are you saying these are just coming out this week, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, you've already got two.
Yeah. Hitman Episode 5 Colorado comes out this week as well.
Oh, God.
So, there's that. Next week, Warhammer End Times, Vermintide? That's on PC. PS4, Xbox One. Apparently it doesn't have it. Mafia 3 is out next week.
Oh.
Call of Duty. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is the reason why I said bullshit. Because they said that, they're not counting ports. I wouldn't include this one, but whatever. Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered Campaign. And that's for the Legacy Edition pre-orders, and that's PS4 only. Comes out next week.
Doesn't count.
Doesn't count. We're not including that.
But you did say Mafia 3.
But I did say Mafia 3 and Warhammer, and well, even
Warhammer's been out for a year.
It doesn't count. So Mafia 3, they win on that one. Yeah. On the week of October 10th, not only marking the launch of PlayStation VR and many VR-only games, but yes, VR comes out on the 13th, WWE 2K17 comes out on the 11th,
okay.
Gears of War 4 comes out on the 11th, Shadow Warrior 2 comes out on the 13th, and I want that. I accept that. Dragon Quest Builders comes out for the PS4 and the Vita on the 11th. And the 20-year celebration of Rise of the Tomb Raider comes out finally for PS4. It's already been out for Xbox One. Still a port. Doesn't count. So, by my count, that's 1, 2, 3. And then if you include the hardware, 4 things coming out that week.
I mean, it's the holiday season.
It's not bad. Then next week, we've got Batman Return to Arkham. We've got Battlefield 1 on the 21st. We've got Civilization 6 on the same day. That's a big week. I can accept
that. Oh, God, my life is going to suck this entire holiday season.
You might as well just go ahead and get the Christmas pudding in now. Because you're not going
Mate, I might as well just burn my wallet.
You might as well just go ahead and just tell everybody they're not getting any gifts because you've got games to buy. Week of October 24th, we've got DLC coming out for Dark Souls. That doesn't count. Titanfall 2 comes out on the 28th.
I can accept that.
Skyrim Special Edition launches on the 28th.
Doesn't count.
That doesn't count. I'm sorry, it doesn't count. However, I will be downloading it. Well, I mean, I might as well, seeing as I have the Legendary Edition and you get the Special Edition for free, evidently. If you have the Legendary Edition or you bought and downloaded all the DLC. So, that's, a little freebie there. But again, I don't see the point in Skyrim Special Edition when if you have the PC version, mods will make any version of Skyrim look like the Special Edition, quite frankly. But anyway, so far, they're absolutely right.
Yeah, so far.
So far.
It's 2017 that I'm more concerned about.
We're not getting to that right now. Week of October 31st, Infinite Warfare comes out.
Okay, I accept that.
Also, Modern Warfare Remastered drops on the same day.
Doesn't count, it's a port.
Does not count. The week of November 7th. This is the official release of the PlayStation 4 Pro, which apparently is supposed to be competing with PC, depending on who you ask. Excuse me. I've got something lodged in my throat. Dishonored 2 comes out on the 11th of November.
Accept that.
And there's another notable, very notable actually, probably the one piece of hardware that I think will outsell the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One S. You know what it is? It's the return of the Nintendo NES. And they have made a mini version of it. And it looks spectacular. I have to have it.
I mean, I know you're going to buy it. I know there's going to be a bunch of weeaboos that buy it too. But...
You know you want one.
No, because I have all the NES games ever made and it's on my phone.
You know you want one. You know you want
Mate,
one. You know you want one.
You know what's worse? I have them all on my Mac as well.
Yeah. You know you want one of these, though.
I don't really. I'm not that much of a fan.
You do.
My first console was a PlayStation.
You do. I don't understand why you're just, protesting right now because it's.
I'm not protesting. I'm just saying, like.
It's pointless.
I'm not that much of a Nintendo fan.
It's pointless right now.
Now, if they re-released the Game Boy, that's a different subject altogether.
It's pointless. Anyway, don't listen to Sid. He's definitely going to get it. He's just protesting way too much right now. Week of November 14th. This is actually quite a big week. Killing Floor 2 on the 18th.
Doesn't count.
Why doesn't it count?
Because it's already out on PC.
No, it isn't.
It is.
It's saying that it comes out for PC and PS4 on the 18th.
Oh, as in it comes out of early access?
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, it's already got microtransactions in it. That means they're taking people's money, it's out.
Fair. Alright, so that doesn't count. But it is out officially on the 18th, in case anybody is wondering. And it looks good. I liked the first one. Pokemon Sun and Moon comes out on the 18th.
No, okay, I get that. Yeah.
Watch Dogs 2 on the 15th.
I accept that too.
Now, this doesn't count, but Assassin's Creed The Ezio Collection comes out on the 15th.
Yeah, that doesn't count, but...
Nope.
Does it come out on PC?
And then right there, the week of November 21st gives everyone and their wallets a break before more heavy hitters start popping up again the following week. So, basically...
This list shit.
This list is short a week. So it's not every week until the end of 2016. There's 1 week...
This is bullshit.
There's 1 week... As a matter of fact, there are a couple of weeks after the weekend of December 5th where nothing comes out. So this list, fully bullshit. I see you, VG247, and your clickbait.
Hey, you fell for the clickbait. Okay, you just gave whoever wrote that an extra 5 cents.
Well,
so you're the problem.
That's where you're wrong, because I have Ghostery and uBlock installed, so it's as if I wasn't even there.
My man.
There you go. See? Haha. I was already on top of it. You doubt me way too much. That's your problem. Anyway.
You watched an ad on YouTube before the Battlefield trailer.
I wasn't watching an ad. It pops up when you go to the site. That's not my fault. Anyway, stop this. My brain is addled with tiredness, and you're just ruining everything. Anyway, week of November 28th.
Okay.
Final Fantasy 15 comes out on November 29th.
I'm skeptical that it's ever coming out, but okay, sure. I'll let them have that one.
For me, it doesn't count because it's a Final Fantasy title and they're all guff. The Crew Calling All Units comes out on the 20th.
Doesn't count.
As well. Again, doesn't count. Steep comes out on the 2nd of December. Wait, what?
The fuck is Steep?
I don't know, but I'm intrigued. And Gravity Rush 2 comes out on the 2nd of December. That's
okay. This list is reaching.
This
list is reaching.
Really reaching. Okay, Gravity Rush was great for the Vita, but really? I wouldn't call that heavy.
Blockbuster's not the word I'd use.
I wouldn't call that heavy hitter. Final Fantasy, fine. Everything else, I've never heard of Steep. No, I have heard of Steep. I know exactly what that is. Oh my god. Okay. All right. So you remember the snowboarding and skiing games and all that sort of stuff. You remember like 1080 snowboarding, Shaun White, and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, Steep is a game where you basically have free reign of the mountain. Can go down it any way you want. There are like multiple different paths and stuff. It's basically like an extreme sports ski resort that you never have to leave.
Okay, that sounds like a great game. However, that sounds like an indie game.
Check out the trailer. It's not, I think. It's a Ubisoft title, if I'm not mistaken.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah.
That sounds like a cheesy storyline added too. Oh my god.
Yeah, they're going to be saying dude and brah quite a lot in this game, I feel.
Oh my god.
I'm not really.
Alright, I'm going to have to check this out then. I'm going to have to...
But yeah, no, it looks good. I do know what Steep is. So yeah, I would give it to you on that one, VG247.
It doesn't have anywhere near the hype as anything else.
Well, no.
Because remember, hype is what sells.
But it was one of the games that from like E3, because E3 was so boring this year. But I mean,
E3 is always boring.
Yeah, E3 is always boring. It has been for like the last few years. But I mean, the thing about it is that for me, Steep was actually one of the more interesting things to be coming out. You know, and I like that people haven't given up on action sports in games. So like the people that made Ollie Ollie, Roll 7, they're amazing, and I really love Ollie Ollie. I think it's an amazing skateboard game. It's top three skateboarding games of all time for me.
Whoa! Now I need to know what the other two are.
All right, so second would be Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Whoa, that's number one. I don't know what you think.
No, number one is not Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2.
Oh.
Number one is absolutely Skate 3. That is the best skateboarding game that has ever been made. Ever.
Mate, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Nope.
Do you remember that soundtrack?
Oh,
because I remember every song and every lyric in that soundtrack.
Are you kidding? My band has performed at least 2 covers from that very same soundtrack.
Mate, it had Spider-Man and it had Bruce Willis as playable characters.
Yeah. No, Spider-Man as an unlockable character was the greatest. And the fact that when you got big airs and you could do that crazy flip that he does where he throws the skateboard out and then catches it with the web, that was nuts.
Mate.
But it's not the best skateboarding game of all time anymore. That ended when Skate 3 came out, because Skate 3 is by far and away the pinnacle of skateboarding games. And I will fight anybody that says otherwise. Anybody.
All right, well, I'm going to have to play this Skate 3.
Skate 3 is amazing. Like,
is it on PC?
No, it's not. You'll need to get it.
It's not. I wouldn't even consider it a game then at this point.
Wow. Wow. This moment of pettiness is brought to you by
the Sid and Joseph.
Good grief. Right, the last week, Dead Rising 4.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
And The Last Guardian. Now, I'm quite...
That game's never coming out. This is
precisely what I was going to say. I've been waiting for The Last Guardian for at least, 5 years? Has it been 5 years? Swear down,
it's been longer than that.
Swear down when it was announced, they said that it was going to be a PS3 title. I'm pretty sure that they said...
I'm pretty sure it was a PS2 title.
This game has been in development forever. I don't understand if it's ever coming out. To me, it's vaporware until I have it in my hands. Which brings me to before we step into the realm of the slippery slope. I think that's where we should definitely close on the slippery slope this week. But I've decided that in January, and I have my reasons for doing this, but I've decided that I'm going to get an Xbox One S.
Blasphemer.
See, here's the reason why I've done it.
5 weeks. 5 episodes. This is the bad times. This is the bad times of this episode.
No, it's not the bad times. Because I tell you what. I'm not considering a PS4 until The Last Guardian is out. That's only like one title on the PS4 that I can actually see myself.
Mate, I'm not considering the PS4 or the Xbox One until the PS5 and the Xbox 2 come out.
But the only reason why I'm getting an Xbox One is because one of my longest long-time friends, who lives in Florida, he keeps badgering me to get an Xbox One. Has done since they came out. I finally caved. Is basically what I've finally done. So,
bro, you're a shit friend. You're supposed to show him the light. Tell him what a PC looks like.
He knows what a PC looks like. He got me to cave to getting another console before I got him to finally get the anchors out and get a fucking PC sorted.
Oh my god!
But it looks like the only way that that's going to happen is if I build it for him, because he just doesn't know how.
Bro, just do it. How hard is it? It's fucking Lego at this point.
It's Lego to me at this point. So, but I'm not just going to make it for him. I am going to show him how to do it so that he doesn't ask me a lot of questions.
Just as a side note, to anyone listening, if you'd like to, there's a current job opening at the I'm Just Playin podcast. So send your applications to hi@I'mJustPlaying.com.
You are just petty this week. You are absolutely petty this week. I can't deal with it. Anyway. So we're moving into the slippery slope zone, which is our final stop on this very laid back, chilled out tour, I must say. A very good episode where we can just kick back and just talk about stuff and not have to get all bent out and high strung. Oh yeah, that's the other thing I forgot to mention about what I played this week. So I went with my mate David, who I mentioned earlier on the podcast. We went to Elite Meet in Birmingham for Elite Dangerous.
That sounds like the nerdiest thing ever.
Oh, it was. It was.
And I watched a supercut montage of Minecon, and boy, was that some nerdy shit.
Yeah, Elite Dangerous is a very nice community actually, because I don't know, it's
probably because it's like a whole bunch of grown ass men.
There were a lot of grown ass men. Let's be fair here, but at the same time, there's not that that urgency. I guess there's not. It's not about one-upmanship in that meet. Everybody was quite laid back. Apart from anything else, there was free food and there was a free bar. So
that's pretty good.
So you had me at Elite Dangerous, but now that you're tossing in free drinks and all that sort of stuff on there, I'm just like, yeah, I'm there. So we drove up to Birmingham. We thought we were going to get there too late, but we actually got there before they actually started the major convention stuff, which was a godsend really, because it was like a 2.5 hour drive. And when we got there, I see in the corner a setup, like full chair, really nice Thrustmaster Holtas. I don't know which one it is, but let's just say there are many more buttons on it than is on mine. let's just go ahead and point that out, and that was great. I got the hang of it probably after maybe about 5-10 minutes, but I got the hang of it and it was good. I look to the right and I see that there's one set up with an Oculus Rift.
Ooh.
Now, last week we definitely talked about how we thought VR was dead. I said as much and repeated myself over and over and over again about how VR is dead. I sat down, I strapped the Oculus Rift in, I, got through my dogfight, which I must say, that setup made it far easier for me to get through dogfights than it usually would. And I think it's got something to do with how quality that joystick is, that Holtas is. I need to look up and I need to find out how much it is, because I'm definitely thinking about investing. I finished. I took the Oculus Rift off, and I'm still not convinced it's worth 600 quid.
Mate, I am the Messiah.
I'm not.
I've called it.
Here's the thing, and I'll be really brief because obviously we've got to get this shit wrapped up. But here's the thing. Where Oculus Rift, and this would include the HTC Vive, is concerned, there's one thing that I noticed that was strikingly hard to ignore. And that is that for all of the talk about VR, its visual quality leaves a lot to be desired. And I mean that with the very best constructive criticism that I can give you. Obviously, moving your head around the cockpit, that is an amazing feeling. Don't get me wrong. But is it £600 worth of amazing? Absolutely not. I have to look at it in order to justify it, I have to look at it from the perspective of somebody who's going to be coming into VR that has nothing. No gaming PC. And if they have a gaming PC, they don't have a VR ready card. They don't have the monitor. They don't have the space for it. They don't have anything. Nothing. This is brand new adoption. You are looking at, if you're getting the Oculus Rift, which I think is 549 quid on Amazon right now. You're getting the Oculus Rift. You're going to need a PC. If you don't have a PC, you're looking at 650, 700 minimum.
Yeah, minimum. Most likely 8.
Probably 8 if you definitely want a solid high-end card. Because you're going to need...
Oh, no, what? Wait, no, for just a GPU, yeah, minimum £200.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. If you've got a gaming PC but you need to upgrade to a VR-ready card, you're looking at 200 for an RX 480, job done.
Yeah.
But if you want to future-proof your system, then you're probably going to look at, again, looking at the RX 480 8GB model, which is the only reason why anybody buys them, because it's 8GB of video memory, which you're not going to be using very much of right now, but give it a few years and you probably will do. Yeah, that's running you $250.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to spend a minimum of $250 for a GPU.
Minimum of $250 for a GPU plus the Oculus Rift. That easily slots you into the 800-900 bracket. If you're a brand new adopter to this, if you are finally getting into building a gaming PC specifically for VR, first of all, God bless you. Second of all, how much do you earn? Because you're now pushing well past the grand mark. We're talking, what? A grand two, what? 1,200 250,
Okay, so
300 possibly. Minimum.
you're going to need to spend at least 800, 900 pounds on your PC.
Yes.
Right, for VR ready, right?
Yes.
Maybe 700 if you swindle a little bit on like the power supply and the case and whatnot. Maybe put it in a cardboard box. People do it.
Or open, no enclosure, so it'd be open. Yeah, people do that too.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, most people want to have something nice by their computer, perhaps. Then the Oculus, so $550 for that. So we've already crossed the grand 5. Then obviously the game. For just say Elite, that HOTAS is you're looking at about a few £100, maybe even 5. Like I've seen a few HOTASes at like the £500 mark, and they're good. Obviously, you need good seating. That's a £250 chair.
That's a £250 chair there. Most of them are 200 minimum because it's essentially a bucket seat. Is what it is.
Yeah. So I'm sure. Yeah, you can. The cheapest you could possibly do is for a grand 5, and at the end of the day, for a hobby that doesn't have anything to offer you besides a few tech demos, a grand 5 is a lot to spend.
A lot to justify, and this is if you're getting the Rift. If you're getting the HTC Vive, and I can scarcely believe this, but that's going to run you £800 just for the Vive.
And you still need the space for it.
For the Vive, and you need the space for that. Like, you can't put it in your room. You need an office. You need a decent...
Well, you need an empty space.
You need an empty space. Like, the most minimal space in your house. And I guarantee for most people, that's going to be your lounge, which is already full enough. So
yeah, you got coffee tables, you got sofas, you got the TV if you're running a TV. I have a pretty large room. My room is 7 feet by 20 feet. It's a very long room, but I don't have the space for that shit. It's not.
Neither do I. It's not possible for me. So this is what I'm talking about. Playing Elite Dangerous using the Oculus Rift was impressive. But you're going to have to do better than that to get me to part with, for me at least, because I need basically just a VR-ready card and maybe a new house. So
that's for the Vive.
Oh, for the Vive, excuse me. So for the Rift, okay, yeah, I can swing that. But that's going to cost me $800 because I'm going to need an RX 480, which I'm planning on getting anyway. The
real question is playing Elite, is spending £800 on just playing Elite worth it?
No. That's, for me, people can go ahead and make their own decisions.
There are some people who value that a lot more than we do. Mm-hmm. All right. And that's fine. That's, if that's your thing, good for you, because I wish I had that kind of inclination. But, that's my mortgage, mate.
That's like twice my rent. I can't justify dropping that kind of money on what essentially is just basically going to be an accessory for Elite Dangerous. That's pretty much it.
And it's...
I would need to go through my Steam library on top of that to see which other games I've got that are VR ready. Unofficially, the only one that I can think of is Alien Isolation. And there's absolutely no way in hell that you will get me to play that game on a Rift. Because, as I say, it already gets me going through an alarming amount of pants at an alarming rate because I keep shitting myself stupid playing that game. Now, you want me to put an Oculus Rift on and play that shit? Fuck that for $1. I won't be doing it. No way.
So, following on, all right. It's all well and good that we're shitting on VR, right? It's all well and good. However, I'd like to propose a solution.
Good. Because that's what we like to do on the show. We don't just like to shit on shit. We like to clean it up.
So instead of paying £550 for a Rift or £800 for a Vive, why not spend £220 on an Asus VG248QE, which is a 144Hz monitor? And it is pretty fucking good. And I know this because I'm looking at 2 of them right now. And your gaming experience just elevates to a whole new level. We're not sponsored by them, by the way, but Asus, if you want to give me some of that cash, Yeah, I ain't saying no.
Asus, I love your things. If you want to give me some free stuff, that'd be great. I'd love it. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you want to have a better gaming experience and you want to spend some money, but you don't want to be spending, your monthly wages on it, then save up for 2 months and get a 144 hertz monitor and your RX 480.
I do need a new monitor, and I do need that RX 480. So yeah. Speaking of which, Amazon still hasn't delivered my RAM that I ordered last week.
What the hell? Don't you have Prime?
Yeah, I do, and we don't have enough time. Hell? And we don't have enough time to go into how Amazon completely and utterly fucked it this time. But you know what? At some point, I will have 16 gigs of RAM, and then there will only really be one more component to get after that, and that'll be the RX 480. The monitor is a future purchase, but I think it can wait until January.
Oh yeah, I mean the monitor is something that you can wait on, but when you do get it, it will change how you game.
It will be 144 hertz regardless. I'm not getting another monitor that's like 60 hertz or 70. What's the one up from 60? Is it 70?
75.
75, thank you. So,
but even then, they're very rare.
Yeah, they are. So I need 144 hertz this time. And I wouldn't mind a curved display if I can swing it.
Okay, now you're just getting a bit... If you're going to go curved, go ultra-wide. Because that's a very good experience.
Is it?
Yeah, but I think that there's not many ultra-wide, high refresh rate monitors. But the ultra-wide experience is very nice.
Oh, not fair.
But yeah.
So yeah.
On to the main topic of today's podcast.
Let's get straight
an hour later.
Yeah, I know. we were going to get there eventually, and we did.
Yeah. So, tribalism.
Tribalism. So one of my housemates, Jimmy, shout out to him. We started talking about this. He asked, "Oh, so what's the topic this week?" And I said it's tribalism in video games, and there is no one topic I think in video gaming, or at least the subculture writ large, to me that gives me the impression that it's a hot button topic for everybody. Nobody doesn't care about this. So there's obviously a lot of stuff to cover with it, and we'll try and keep it as brief as possible. But I personally feel like hasn't the medium become mainstream enough to where we don't need to do this anymore, or is this something that we just have to live with, or what?
Well, I mean, when you compare it to other mainstream mediums, film, books, comics, etc., tribalism is really, at the end of the day, in everything. It is. Tribalism is... I'm going to do my devil's advocate thing and say, tribalism is good. Good. It is the very foundation.
You think it's a good thing?
I think it's a very good thing. It is the very foundation of human society. Allow me to present my my thesis.
You're gonna need to, so please.
So, now, conflict is in everything, right?
Yes.
The most obvious kind of example of tribalism in gaming is the PS4 versus Xbox, or consoles versus PC.
Okay.
Right? Or you'll even have Call of Duty versus Battlefield. You'll have Pro Evo versus FIFA. You have something versus something else, right? It's Tomb Raider versus Uncharted. It's fucking The Division versus Diablo. Yeah. Tribalism is everything. And it comes even everything else. When you go to films, it's DC versus Marvel.
That's not even just the film, that's just the comics in general.
Yeah, that's the comics as well. This TV show versus that TV show. It's everything is against something else. Now, when it comes to video games, and I guess pretty much everything else, it's down to what. A lot of it does come down to I, person X, have bought into product Y, and I am backing that. And you cannot argue with me. Well, you can, but in this case, you have to argue. My decision is correct, and your decision is wrong.
Well, I personally am not convinced that is a nature thing. I think it's more of a nurture thing.
I don't think it's a nature thing. Because, really and truly, you could go far back enough, everything is split in this strange duality. Sometimes in 3 or 4 different ways, but there's always going to be someone who says yes and someone who says no. I like this, I don't like this. I like this, but no, I don't like this. You can go, it even goes down to what we eat. Yes for meat, no for meat. If you get what I mean.
Yeah,
tribalism.
I'm with you to a certain degree.
Even with our nationalities and our ancestry. Like I don't know about you, right? But in my hometown, it's a very diverse place.
I thought you were about
but
to
there's
bust
still
out into some Adele before a sec, but wow, okay. No, I really thought you were about to bust out one time into a rendition of Hometown Glory. Because you started it off precisely like this. Just like, see, I don't know about you, but around my hometown, I was like, he's about to quote Adele right now, and I legit thought you were going to do it. Anyway, I'm so sorry. Continue.
Yeah, so it's a pretty diverse place. Like we have everything: black, white, brown, yellow, green, indigo, violet. The whole works, right? But even those have their strange divisions, right? In the Asian community, it's Pakistani versus Bengali. In the black community, Africans versus Jamaicans. In the white community, I don't know, they just they like kiss dogs and shit, but no one cares about that. I'm so sorry, white people, but no.
See, you just had to take it there.
I had to. But yeah, tribalism is in everything. Everyone gets into their little groups, and then they'll go into smaller groups, and then they'll get into smaller groups. And they just do that. Mm-hmm. People just do that until eventually you just come down to just you. Which kind of, like, I was thinking a lot about this. You know the Mass Effect games, right? Mm-hmm. The Mass Effect games take place in a world where Earth as a civilization, humans, have finally got to a state of society where we are now regularly out and about on space.
Sure.
Yeah, we're traveling through mass relays to different parts of the galaxy and whatnot. And it's such a broad picture because it's literally like the humans versus the Geth and the Krogans.
Well, really, aren't they the main? If we're talking Mass Effect, isn't the main enemy the Sentinels?
Yeah, there's the Sentinels, but I mean, like in the Citadel, there's like there's that the meeting that you have. There's the council, right, and then you have the whatever race that Garrus is, and so and they all go like, oh, well, you're fucking humans, you're new, and blah blah blah. We don't really like you, can't be trusted. You're always at war, blah blah. That's tribalism right there, right? So it's Commander Shepard represents pretty much all of fucking humanity here.
Yes, he's quite a monolith. He's quite a monolith for humanity. In all fairness.
Exactly. He's got the Jesus motif to him already. His name begins with J and his name's Shepard. Come on, mate. Let's make it a bit more obvious next time. Yeah, so, but what I really thought about was, in that Mass Effect world, is everyone just united as humans?
No, it's quite fractured. you've got what the Krogan went through with the what was the name of that disease that bloody well almost wiped them out?
I can't remember what it's
called. The genophage. That's it.
That's the one. Yeah. So yeah, but I mean, as a society, are humans like full on Elon Musk dream? We're all doing this together, kind of thing.
What, visionaries and all that sort of stuff? Fuck no.
Yeah.
But then that's the reason why I'm very, very, very more inclined to say that this is more of a nurture thing than nature. Because if nature were to dictate that, then we wouldn't have so many different phenomena that hold so many different people back for varying reasons. I give you the whole thing that everybody's kind of combative about what other platform that they've been, that they've got or they've bought into, anything like that. The fanboyism is it's just really just performative. It's really just performative in a sense where you feel like you've got to justify what it is that you've bought. So some people go to a lot further lengths than others in order to get that done. I don't think we did that when we came straight out of the womb. I mean, for fuck's sake, when I look at two toddlers playing together, they've got a whole bunch of toys surrounding them, and yeah, you'll probably get the odd one that takes a toy from them or that sort of stuff while they were playing with it, and then one will cry. But they didn't do that because they were being tribal. They were doing that because it's just like, give me the fucking toy.
Well, yeah, because it's more curiosity than anything. Just like, oh, what's that you've got in your mouth? Let me see what it feels like in my mouth. And that's basically what toddlers do. Phrasing.
Sorry. I wasn't thinking of that. And you should be ashamed of yourself, quite frankly.
What's phrasing?
Listen, there's a time and a place for double entendres. Not now.
But yeah. No, but I honestly think that tribalism is something that is inherent in all of us. Like, you say, okay, perfect example, right? You, me, right? All right, so I come to Brick Lane, we go to some bar,
yeah.
All right? If I see you there, I'm heading in your direction because I do not know anyone else there. We have now made a tribe. You find someone that you know, that tribe is now expanded. Everyone else is essentially the enemy at this point because we do not know who the fuck they are, we don't know what their motive is, but we know what our motive is, which is this.
Okay.
The tribe.
I mean, it's not
because, a nurture thing. This naturally, that is what it's inclined to.
I don't think it's a natural thing. I think the only reason why it feels natural is because we've been doing it for so long that we don't know anything else.
Isn't that what nature is?
No, nature is nature's something it just is. It was from the beginning and will be until for an indefinite amount of time. The difference is that these things nature pre-exists whatever we implement synthetically. And when we look at all of the different phenomenons and certain, different societal or socio-political systems that we've got, you kind of have to remember that a lot of them were created as solutions to whatever problems were there. If they weren't created as a solution to a problem, they were created to extract certain things from certain people. Sometimes to extract people from certain places. So for me, I don't think that's a natural state of being. If you have to create these very convoluted systems that didn't exist, it's not really a natural state. And then the way in which it's preserved, it's hand in hand with our social conditioning. I'm very much all over the place philosophically with it, but for me, I don't see anything natural about a PS4 fanboy and a Xbox fanboy going at it hammer and tongs to try and one-up each other to see that their system is more superior than the last. They'll lean on sales figures, and they're not being paid to do any of this bullshit. They're just doing it anyway. And for me, it's just like, that's not really natural. That's not what I would call a natural state. But you do raise an interesting question about the context in which we use it, and perhaps, maybe just the subculture itself. Maybe when this started, maybe it was always like that. I don't know. Maybe. But it's hard for me to imagine anybody that was gathering around the goddamn Pong machine was fanboying about.
Well, I mean, even with Pong, it's like it's the left team versus the right team.
But it's a competition. It's not necessarily a tribal thing. Nobody was just like, I'm team left or I'm team right back then. Certainly not.
I mean, two people are playing, and then everyone else in MIT are like, "Oh, I'm rooting for Doctor fucking Big Nose, and I'm rooting for Doctor Big Forehead."
Okay.
Tribal.
That is a little bit, but I don't know. I don't really.
Also, do you not think it's a good thing, tribalism?
Not really. I think there are merits to it. The camaraderie it builds within certain communities and subgroups definitely is a positive. But I think it brings about way too many disparities than it does benefits. For the long run, I think if you're looking at it from a console aspect, there are a lot of intersections to this as well, which is something that my roommate definitely starts to detail quite brilliantly. And when you look at all the varying intersections, so you've got Sony versus Microsoft. Really, truly, the only ones actually competing are the two tech manufacturers, nobody else. But people have joined up. People have quite literally enlisted in a battle in which they don't win.
Well, of course. But it's the same as football, really. I mean, for example, you're a Manchester United supporter. I'm an Arsenal supporter. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't really care about football anymore. But there you go. You're really not winning.
It's not really. It's
and nor am I.
Yeah.
In regardless of whatever situation.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the only people who are winning are FIFA scum.
FIFA, UEFA, the FA. I mean, the thing about it is that that's not to put a dampener on, the passion that somebody might have for a certain thing, but you have to look at the way it's set up for me to kind of really remark on whether or not tribalism is still has a place. I think it's archaic to a lot of degrees. I think it's barbaric. And
absolutely. I 100% agree. It is very barbaric. But I think it's needed.
I don't know if it's needed anymore. And I'm going to go into another point about it, and I think this is probably where I'll stop. If we can, at some point, kill off saying PC Master Race. And I'll give you I'll give you one historical reason as to why we shouldn't, and I'll give you one. I guess we'll call it a Josephism, maybe, as to the reason why we should quit saying it. I'll start you with the history. That whole master race thing, deeply rooted in fascism.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really deeply rooted in fascism. And I don't need to get into the ins and outs of it. We don't have to start at the Nazis. Fascism definitely predates the Nazis. But, again, the whole master race thing, there's a whole bunch of different supremacist ideologies, namely one that dominates in Western societies, white supremacy, which definitely takes quite a lot of leverage, uses a lot of leverage where that whole master race rhetoric is concerned. I don't think PCs need to be called master race. They are inanimate objects. They are machines. Like, we don't need to start telling people that, while I would wholly agree that I think the PC, for me personally, is the best platform going, I think there's better ways of trying to describe its superiority than going down silly, cack-handed, ahistorical narratives as PC master race. I don't want to be the member of a master race because of all the fucked up things that come about with the rhetoric and the way that the rhetoric is implemented as a result of that. Not saying that not saying that PC gamers are going to take up arms and start nailing fucking console kids to the wall, but it is a bit ridiculous to refer to something as a master race, because that conveniently segues into my second reason to why I should stop doing it, or stop saying it. PC gamers are notoriously thin-skinned. And the reason why they're notoriously thin-skinned, like all gamers really, are incredibly thin-skinned, which is the reason why I think that the whole goober grape, whatever the fucking call themselves now, I think they're still called GG, whatever.
The what now?
Yeah, them. The ones that got all but hurt adopted a whole bunch of anime abbeys and decided that the best way to defend ethics in video games is not to go after publishers and developers for their bullshit. Well, unless it's an indie developer that made a game recently. But rather, let's just go ahead and sit on the internet all day, anonymous, and just harass the shit out of people. And also, let's allow the right wing to politicize us, and then all of a sudden they find themselves supporting somebody like Donald Trump. The major reason that I think, after the historical inertia is considered, major reason why I think you should stop saying it is because gamers are so thin-skinned, and they're so very, very, very sensitive to anybody who comes off as elitist. Why then would you push such an overwhelmingly elitist narrative as to why you should describing PCs as the best? That is like a massive contradiction, and it makes you look like a hypocrite, quite frankly. Now, I've had my fun time saying it way back in the day, but I've stopped because I realized that there's better ways of describing how much you love this platform over everything else. Apart from anything else, I haven't stopped buying consoles. I think I've bought everything kind of fairly consistently, but it's just a bit long in the tooth for gamers to kind of talk about PC master race, but then get bent out of shape when somebody says, gamers are dead, or nobody actually said that, by the way. Somebody made that up. I came to find out. And things of that nature. Now all of a sudden you're thin-skinned. Now all of a sudden your inferiority complex has been exacerbated. And now your needs are kicking off and they're jerking all over the fucking place. But you're okay with something as perilously elitist as PC Master Race. As if playing on a console makes you inferior in any way, shape, or form. Because remember now, there's still quite a big price barrier to get into PC gaming. Not so much where consoles are concerned. Although it can be argued that consoles are still quite expensive. Not as expensive as PCs. And yes, PC components do get cheaper all the time. But again, the elitism starts you start vomiting elitism when you say this stuff, because you still have to put the damn thing together. Otherwise, you have to pay somebody else to do it. Or you have to find someone patient enough to show you how to do it. This is a community at its core where we want as many people playing on these machines as possible. We want them to know how to build them. We want them to be able to take their gaming destiny into their own hands. Why then would we deploy such a dumbass and elitist narrative to try and entice people to come in? It's not working. It hasn't worked, and I don't think it will. And that's the reason why I think tribalism in gaming is pathetic. It's pathetic. Especially when we consider that the medium itself has gone mainstream. We won, guys. People are paying attention to games. Whether they dibble or they dabble, or whether they go all in, balls to the wall, it doesn't matter. We want as many people playing this shit as possible. Just like we want as many people watching as many films as possible. Just like we want people reading as many books as possible. If we're going to have any merit to this artistic narrative, we have to realize that when it goes mainstream, that means it's accessible to everybody. So things like PC Master Races, you've got to get shit canned, I'm afraid. Anyway, that's my whole thing on tribalism in games. There isn't enough merit to it. The camaraderie is almost always overshadowed by the fact that there's a whole bunch of people with chips on their shoulders and always willing to push some sort of elitist narrative. If it's not on the platform itself, it's by how often that you play video games. To me, a gamer is anybody who plays video games. Period, point, sentence, end, blank, that's it. So as far as I'm concerned, if you play video games in any way, shape, or form, you are a gamer. If you do that with some sort of repeated consistency, then you are a gamer. I don't see it for the terms hardcore gamer. I don't see it for the terms casual gamer. I just think it's another way to employ divide and conquer tactics, and that's not needed when we're trying to make this as harmonious as possible. Because let's be honest, from the very beginning, at least when I got involved into games, it's not been the most inviting space in the world.
Oh God, no.
It's not. But it's mainstream now, so guess what? Shit's got to change. And I don't see any problem with it. I think it makes it far less stressful. It really does. Of course, there's always going to be certain communities around certain games where there's going to be full of meatheads and assholes. So, Call of Duty, like we lost that battle a long time ago. There will always be people that will always be an absolute raging bellend whenever they're playing Call of Duty.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, somebody should either take their mic away and jam it up their arse so that they can continue chatting shit in a more literal sense rather than figuratively. But there's always going to be some person griefing. There's always going to be some shithead. I can deal with that, and I think the community writ large has great ways of dealing with it. 8 times out of 10. But tribalism, is it necessary? When all it really does is just drive sales? No.
Isn't that what's most important, though? See, when you drive the sales, it means more games, and more games means more things for us to play. Imagine a world where there was no tribalism, where everyone were kind of all hunky-dory on their PCs, everyone's got the same PC, everyone's got the same games.
It doesn't have to be the same now, obviously, because PCs, remember, it's very much like Android. It's a very individual culture. There's a collective of individuals, rather.
Okay, a better example. So there's one console.
Okay.
Everyone's playing the one console.
Yep.
And everyone's playing the one game. That is essentially the answer to tribalism. One game, one console, everyone playing the same one. So, I mean, I would say something like, I don't know, the equivalent of a League of Legends or along those lines. But even then, League of Legends, you're competing with Dota 2 and blah, 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 whatever. Point is, the solution to tribalism is one console, one game, everyone plays them, and everyone has a great time.
I don't think that's the answer. I really don't.
I mean, because there's no other way to get past fanboyism. Because as soon as there is another option, everyone separates into groups.
May I make a proposal?
Sure. I don't see why not.
I don't think the problem is getting rid of choice. I think choice is important. However, I think we can definitely get around the tribalism. We can move on from tribalism. There we go. We can move on from tribalism by doing a very simple thing. Remembering to add the "to me" at the end of statements like, "This is better." This is better for me. Because it addresses what I want out of my experience. Why did I go with an Xbox One over a PS4? Because I found that the experience would be better for me. And speaking personally, it would be better for me because I have far more people that I play with regularly on Xbox Live than I do PSN. Justice. Now, why is PC gaming better for me? Because I'm always on a bloody computer anyway. So it's like, I am. I work from a computer. I create stuff from a computer, from music all the way over to the pieces of literature that I write. So, logic standing to reason, I want my computer to be able to entertain me as well. And I play video games as my leading form of entertainment. So it's got to be that. Now, PC gaming is better for me. The experience is better. I have far more control over everything, and I can build it. I don't need to go to a manufacturer or I don't need to go to one manufacturer. I could just go to one shop and get tons of components from many different manufacturers. Like the wealth of choice, the litany of choice, the level of control. It's great. if I modded my Xbox or my PS4, I might get banned.
Yeah.
Depending on how I modded it, obviously. But, especially with the PS4 is concerned, I really feel bad that Fallout 4 people for the PS4 will not have mods like the rest of us do. Like, this is the reason why I think tribalism needs to die. It's
Should have picked the right platform.
So bait. So bait.
You walked into it.
So bait.
Why are you gonna walk into it for?
Bait. Wow.
Oh, I love this podcast.
I do. I love it as well. I mean,
because the thing is, most of the time, I listen to you rant and rave about people that you hate on the internet, of whom you've never met. That's my favorite part. If anything, all right. To summarize,
look. Some of them, I actually do dislike. Others, it's just like you did a really stupid fucking thing, and now you're trying to make yourself come out glistening for it, and that's not going to happen. Not on my watch.
I mean, to anyone who's still listening at the end of this this episode, my favorite part, the very reason I started this podcast was every time I go on Twitter, Joseph is running about something. He's got so much on his chest. He's got so much passion, so much fire. He just hates everything.
I don't hate everything.
Yeah, come on, if I go on your Twitter right now, don't make me do it.
Go on.
All right, let's see.
I mean, I was joking I was cracking jokes for the last 24 hours, actually.
The Oracle.
Yeah.
Bay Grylls.
Yeah.
A storming speech at the conference from that man Jezza. Mate, how you gonna hate on the opposition? Why are you hating?
What?
Why are you hating?
What? Why am I
hating on the opposition?
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
Stop being. You're trying it again, and this actually, I'm disappointed.
Okay, anyway.
Because usually when you do bait, it's better than this.
I know. I didn't do my research.
No, you really didn't.
Okay. Anyway,
this is the reason why I told you to go and look. Boom, bitch!
I fell for the bait. Point is that Joseph, whenever it's time for his eulogy, he will always be remembered for his sincere passion and his unrelenting desire to just bitch slap a motherfucker.
I'm nothing if I'm not passionate. I mean, I won't get violent.
I'm the direct opposite. I don't give a shit.
I won't get violent. At least I'll try not to. But if push comes to shove, namely after somebody puts their hands on me, then that might change. But I mean, I think Twitter is a great space because, as somebody pointed out, somebody that I followed, their name is Boston Jerry, really decent philosophical kind of guy. He said Twitter is wonderful because it's literally just minds. It's just people thinking out loud.
That is the worst thing I could possibly do. That is literally
no, but there's potential.
Cancer to me.
There's potential there to There's potential there to kind of really make sense of people's thought patterns. There's also potential there to, as Jerry pointed out, there's potential there to use it as a very powerful mental health tool. You know,
mate, what tool?
I said potential to be because
what? No, mate. Listen, like you said, it is just minds, right? But the problem with Twitter is it's everyone's mind.
Yeah, and that's fine. I just think that Jerry's got a point when there's potential for us to kind of use it as something where we can create a whole bunch of negative thoughts, a whole bunch of positive thoughts in different ones, and kind of like really garner a repository of these things. Really and truly, there's nothing more cathartic for somebody who's depressed than to be able to express what has got them feeling like they're at the end of their tether. So not specifically Twitter, because Twitter is definitely a cesspool now, but but there's still potential for its function to be used to kind of harness that and be able, for like great psychiatrists and psychologists to come together and be like, and be able to really deliver some sort of like revolutionary, unprecedented type of mental health service that we've not seen yet. Can also go quite a long way to countering stigma as well. So again, kind of getting off the topic, but I like Twitter, and I will not apologize for my passion or any of
of course not,
or any of the people that I've sworn at on there, because to be quite honest, if you weren't being a dickhead, I wouldn't have sworn at you anyway. So there's that.
Also, in regards to just a quick mental health side note, if you're feeling depressed or suicidal,
Indeed,
the best thing to do is play Tetris. Guarantee you 100% it will solve your current situation.
Well,
try it.
There's
an old ancient saying that was once uttered many a time. It's been lost in recent years, but I'll tell you the saying.
I very much doubt it's ancient.
The saying goes, "In Sid we trust." Okay, it's a proverb. Works all the time. When you really think about it, it's the way to go. But yeah, trust me, Tetris. And you want to know what's funnier? All right, this kind of wraps everything up in a really nice bow.
Nice.
Guess who publishes Tetris on mobile? Which is probably the best place to play Tetris these days.
EA does.
Damn fucking straight. And hail corporate, because EA are knocking it out of the park.
Are you sure that was a good way to end it? Can we end it on something else?
you can hate as much as you like, but that Battlefield 1 trailer was pretty fucking good. Tetris is the best game ever made. If there's only one game I could ever play, it would be Tetris.
Alright, we'll close with this. Shout out to everybody in Australia. Apparently they've made a special edition of the Xbox One S, and it's called the Lamborghini Centenario. I shit you not, it looks like a Lamborghini. It's absolutely bloody gorgeous, and as it stands, it's the only one of its kind, and that's sad because I really want it. So shout out to all the Australian gamers. If you listen to this and you're in Australia, you might want to get the anchors out of your fucking pants and get down to Microsoft's flagship store in Sydney St. Pitt's, or you can either go online and order yourself a copy of Forza Horizon 3. When you do, you're entered into the contest to win this console. It's
one nice looking console. It's
absolutely gorgeous, and if I were living and or resident in Australia, I would absolutely have bought. Well, you should buy Forza Horizon 3 because it looks like a fucking awesome racing game. But definitely do it if for nothing else.
That's £70 on the Microsoft Store.
But if you do, imagine if they select you as a winner of that gorgeous piece of machinery right there. Seriously.
I've got nothing else to play on it.
Well, I do. I can think of about maybe 5 other games that I would play.
Okay, well, if I win it, then you can have my...
You don't even live in Australia, so you're going to get disqualified.
I don't know some girl that lives there who can do it for me.
Careful now.
What? Listen, right? Listen. I don't think you're listening.
I don't even know what to say.
This episode's gone.
I don't even know what to say anymore.
This is the first time we've ever planned out a theme.
Yeah.
And the theme was tribalism. I don't know where that went. It just turned into a fuck the master race situation. Now it's turned into RS.
Yeah, it sure did turn into an RS. I don't even know what to do anymore. Sleep deprivation is bad for your health, kids.
Oh.
That's basically what I'm going to say. But yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen.
That's going to do it for another episode of I'm Just Playing. You can follow us at @I'm Just Playing. Remember to drop the G. If you put a G in it, you're doing it wrong. We're on YouTube. We are on iTunes. We are on Stitcher. We are on TuneIn. We are at Facebook. I think I put X. I'm just playing X as the Facebook.
I mean, if you type it, you'll find it.
Yeah, just make sure that you type it. And remember to drop the G. No G. Drop that shit.
Also, remember, kids, don't say anything racist or controversial when Joseph's awake. I'm just playing.
I hate you, Sid. We'll see you next week.